I'm Janine Teagues. I've been teaching here at Abbott Elementary for a year now. The staff here is incredible. Finally feeling on top of things. Cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
This is a classroom, not a hoagie stand.
Hoagie.
We had it on the board.
Yeah, the inspiration from the show was kind of watching my mom as a Philadelphia school teacher for 40 years and just watching that journey. And also friends of mine who are teachers now, you know, that inspired me, kind of knowing that there was so much story there. For season 2, I think, I would say my friends are even more of the inspiration because they're still teaching. My mom is retired, but I have friends who are teaching now and, you know, just their journey is fascinating to me, and it's inspirational on its own, what they're able to do every day. Season 2, I think, will be filled with more examples of their stories.
Okay, so if the store has 10 potatoes, right, and you take away 2 of them, how many potatoes would the store have left?
Janine, what did I say about taking my potatoes from the lunchroom?
But visual learning is so much better.
Well, guess what? Now you have 0 potatoes.
The Office and Parks and Rec were huge for me, but still, even though they were huge for me, I was a fan, and I didn't necessarily develop other shows with mockumentary in mind. This one, I was sitting at my mom's desk when I got the idea watching her, but I knew there was something important to sitting at the desk and being in the classroom, and I wanted the audience to really feel that way with this show. I thought it would make the stories we tell more poignant if the people watching them felt like they were at Abbott as well. And that kind of really sparked me like, oh my God, yes, finally an opportunity to use the beauty of mockumentary.
I know this school is rough, but we make do.
Looking for Miss Coleman?
Hello.
I'm the sub.
I thought one of my colleagues here hired a stripper for me.
Okay.
I can't, but you know, I think what's fun about Abbott, what I want to do is just always have someone that no one is expecting. Sometimes that's, to me, people who are really talented that I'm just obsessed with, who I think are really great to add to this show. And then sometimes it's people who I think just no one will predict who fit into the world. I'm more into obscure guest stars than like the perceived, I don't know, who everyone expects. I think it's exciting to just have people from around Philly or, you know, people or things from around Philly. I'm excited about the guest stars.
Oh, God, can someone please help me down?
And why would we do that since you clearly caused this situation?
Okay, I didn't know doing this would cause all the power to go out.
Well, the power is not all out. It's on in some places and off in others.
Yeah, it's off in my room.
Definitely. And I think a lot of that is going to come from her working on her outside life a little bit more. It'll make her skin a little bit thicker in school. There's a lot in store for her, but she's going to get through it.
Change can be scary. But you know that better than anyone, you know, as a sub. You're here one day and in a totally different school tomorrow.
Well, not anymore, actually. Just got this today.
It remains to be seen. I cannot divulge that information. There's going to be some interesting stuff going on with her. Fun stuff to see.
I'm teaching a lesson on gravity. There have been 3 presidents since this one. Here's where I taped in the others.
Because they were incredible and they made it only a day of filming. When someone throws, hey, we want you to play Oprah, that's a big deal. And that was just something I felt like I couldn't say no to. I love Weird Al. I've loved him since I was a kid. It was an immediate yes. It almost was a no when they said Oprah. But then when I read the tone of it, I was like, oh my God, I can do this. At first I was like, I can't play Oprah. But the tone of the movie is so silly and perfect that I'm like, this is the exact way for me to honor Oprah Winfrey in this beautiful, silly comedy. It was a great thing to be a part of. I love Daniel Radcliffe, do anything for that guy. He's really, really a good person. And I love working with him. I've worked with him on Miracle Workers. He's just a joy. So yeah, it was an easy thing to show up for.
Farmer Hank has 7 turkeys. Then he buys 6 more. How many turkeys does Farmer Hank now have?
Is one of the turkeys pregnant?
One of my kids asked the same thing.
Because it's a good question.
Was I surprised by the success of the show? No, weirdly.
No.
I spend, as actors, we always have to have an optimism that the thing you're doing might go well. But in this particular one, from the very first script that made me laugh and cry, and it was something I actually wanted to do. I could see the cultural plus of doing this show around teachers. It would have such a big audience. It would represent so many people that are underrepresented. It was in a school in a world that is already underrepresented and is diverse. So all of the reasons for it were great reason to succeed. But if it wasn't on the page, if it wasn't written in a way that avoided being ham-fisted, avoided being preachy, I wouldn't have wanted to be part of it. It was truly funny. And I could see the characters. And I told Quinta when we were shooting the pilot, if all we get as teachers were a monster hit. But what we became was family for our audience. They look forward to spending every week with us. They thought of us as their family. And that's the sign of a truly good show, is that people feel like they're part of it, that we are part of their world and vice versa. And
become part of their world.
Yes. And for they look forward to watching it with their different generations of family members. And I thought, wow, we really could be that show, because we felt that way with each other.
We're destination TV.
Right.
People now plan their lives around when we're on TV, right. Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. And right. when you've got all of these different people coming together, and it's not just in the United States or North America, it is the world.
Yeah, someone just said that they were friends with teachers teaching on army bases in Germany, and they religiously watch the show every week. So it is, and people will write us, and when's it coming to England? Okay, well, it's coming now. So that part of it, and I have to say this, it's not just us as a cast. It is a success and a win and a good feeling that created the world we live in from every piece of our show, from props to the camera crew, to set design and costume design and our hair and makeup, who we adore. All of the elements, root for it. Laugh when we're doing our pieces, when we're doing our, what we call the talking heads, which are the direct to camera pieces. It's such an atmosphere of support that I am not surprised, but I am truly, truly grateful.
All I'm hearing is new, need. And yet Barb, one of our best and most senior teachers here, she never complains. What is your secret, Barb?
Knowing there's not much you can do, Ava.
I am so thrilled that, education has been my husband's lifelong passion. Education, not just for Philadelphia, but for the state of Pennsylvania, because he's State Senator Vincent Hughes of Philadelphia. And for me to be on this show that takes place in Philadelphia, written by a young Philadelphian who loves her city, because, a lot of folks from Philadelphia, they are passionate about where they are from. And to have my husband working on this issue, and to hear him say to me that for the first time in decades, there is going to be an increase to the funding of education in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. And I dare say some of that has to do with the fact that all of this was put right out there for everybody to see. You must pay attention to these broken toilets. You must pay attention to the lack of air conditioning in the summer. You must pay attention for the funding that has been cut and not available. You must pay attention to the need for books and supplies in the classrooms of all of our children, and not just some. So I'm so thankful that show business and politics have come together to do some real good for some of the most important people ever, and that's teachers and their students. And I don't think it gets too much better than that.
She's absolutely right. That passion permeates, I think, what all of us do. In my case, yes, you're right, it's personal. My mother was a teacher, and she started out, her first job was in a one-room schoolhouse in Pennsylvania. My father was getting his PhD at Penn State, and my mother taught in a school that had kindergartners through seniors in high school, who would, by the way, not come to class when it was the harvest, because they were farm kids. They were in literally a one-room like shack with an outhouse. That was their toilet. And they didn't know, she said that when they were digging the latrine for the outhouse, she had to tell them, you have to put it downstream from the school, because the kids would go out and, you know, play in the stream and get their tadpoles and whatever. But education is education. What you don't know what you don't know.
Hank has 2 turkeys, he gets 2 more. How many turkeys?
He has 4.
Yes.
I certainly hope so. I'm waiting for my song. Yes. You know, Barbara Howard has a completely different voice than Sheryl Lee Ralph, but I know she's waiting for her song. Yes. Yeah,
No, I'm actually teaching a lesson right now about the unions in the city and how many of them started in South Philly.
Oh, no way. I know some guys that were part of that. Yeah, I'm glad you're teaching that to the kids. Good job.
Well, you know, in the way, speaking of my mom being a teacher, Melissa is tough. Her kids, I think, enjoy the fact that she's tough. Children, I'm a mom of 4. There has to be some sort of stability for kids to feel safe. So when there is a person in charge who takes charge and makes sure that things are set the way they're supposed to be, kids are like, okay, I know what we're doing here. I feel safe with this person who's in charge. But if she's going to be scary with anybody, it's with anybody who's trying to do harm to her kids. She's going to fight for those kids, just something I saw my mom do. So is she tough? Yes, she's tough because she expects the most from her kids. But she's loving and she will hug them as hard as she is hard on them. She will also hug them that hard.
Well, you know, Melissa, of course. She's you know, Southern Philly type.
Excuse me. Talking about me?
Yeah, I was saying you are a Southern Philly type.
South Philly.
Right.
Somebody came in who was supposed to do Philly. And being where I'm from, you know, I went to school in Maryland for a lot of years. So, you know, these O's are the same. It's like Balmer O's. So that part was like easier, but also there's like a front of the mouth thing that's actually just a physicality. I did a lot of studying of linguistics when I was in school. I think if I hadn't been an actor, I would have been like a dialect coach because I find it fascinating about how dialects develop. The reason why Balmer and Philly both have this sound were the immigrants that peopled those areas, who they were. They were German, they were Italian, they were a very specific group of people, and they're both port cities. So there is a way that it developed that's different from New York. But my parents are from New York, so there are certain sounds that are the same. But I did a lot of studying. You know, people that think, oh, they think I'm from Philly. I'm not. I did a lot of studying. I went online. I listened to how they say certain words. If I see a talking head where I know I have to say something that's Philly that might not be in my toolbox, I will go and I'll research how the word is said. The writers will write a certain thing and I'll be like, that's not, you know, hey, do you want to go? It's do yous want to go? Yous guys want to come? You know, or G-eat. You know, if they say something, I'll be like, no, it's G-eat. And it's specific to Italians from that area too. So, and that part is fun to throw in because those little slang words I know from my family.
Barbara.
Oh, great work, buddy. Oh.
Let's get this little guy inside.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's an amazing time and it's the perfect time, the perfect show. And thank ABC and Warner Brothers for everything and all the support that they have given us. And I don't think any of us will ever forget our first award. And that was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We're going about this all wrong. You know, you don't build a dam in the middle of a rushing river. You build it before the water comes.
That is so wise.
What the hell are you talking about?
Not by the success, but the amount of success.
We about to be on TV.
Because they are covering underfunded, poorly managed public schools in America.
No press is bad press, Barb. Look at Mel Gibson, still thriving. Daddy's home too, hilarious.
I hope the show has an impact. I mean, I think first and foremost, we're interested in making people feel good and representing something authentically. But that's kind of the weird thing about what we do is like things catch on fire and then, you know, person who's bagging your groceries like knows you and like saw your show. And so I feel like just the sheer amount of people that are now like a part of our family or like are in on this joke, I feel like that has the potential to create change. But yeah, we'll see. I feel like it's still young.
You'll be giving today's presentation alone.
Oh my God, what did he just say to you? That if you don't do well, you're gonna get fired?
Worse. He mumbled and I didn't hear it.
She got in a bit of trouble, but then she got herself out of it. So there's no real impetus to be a different person. But I feel like we also saw that in her own way, she contributes to the school, that she does care about the school in the way it's run in her own way. Perhaps that Gregory may not even be a better replacement than she. I don't know. Let's float that. But yeah, so I feel like not only did she get in a bit of trouble, she redeemed herself in the eyes of her coworkers and to the viewers.
Ava! Why is a man cooking ribs in my parking spot? What is happening?
It's game day, baby.
It's development week.
Here's a development. You either got to park on the street or give me $50 for your spot. I'm making extra money for the school.
If we haven't gotten to that point in the script yet. No one tells me anything. I talk too much, so I don't know if we'll see more of that part of Ava's life.
Whew, guys, I need a new rug. Mine is officially done.
Me too. I shook mine out and all of the asthma kids had to go to the nurse's office.
Hey, yo. What it do, baby boobs? What y'all think about this little film crew I brought in here?
Distracting, makes our jobs harder.
I don't think so. And I mean, not for me. I feel like I come from doing a lot of theater, and I feel like the way that we shoot this show is actually more conducive to capturing real life than things usually are. There's such a symbiosis going on with all of us and our camera operators and our producers that it feels very easy now and a more natural way of shooting things.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have so few experiences in front of the camera. My next thing I'll have a problem. I'll be like, this isn't a mockumentary. You know what I mean? I'll probably be looking into the camera. But no, yeah, like Chris said, it feels very natural. Sometimes not knowing things lets you get into a new experience that much easier. I didn't have to unlearn anything to do this style of shooting.
None of the kids are talking, we gotta catch one of them in the act. Then we flip that kid, follow it up to the top. Who wants to go fishing?
Okay, well, nobody is jumping up on my desk, so this is feeling like y'all's problem.
It wasn't hard at all. I'm hiking, I'm fit, and I'm just naturally talented at most things.
We all saw the legs. I am even surprised that she even asked that question. We saw
gosh.
How fit
you were. It's so much fun. I hope there's more. I hope there's more stunts.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite episodes too, because it's very silly.
I could do a 21 Jump Street kind of thing. If I put on the right hat, I could pull off 13.
I don't think so.
How about we get you some platform shoes and you can pull off 12?
Okay.
I can catch one of them. I haven't done this kind of fishing in a minute.
Yeah, we just shot one, actually. I am the lucky contestant for it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we just kind of get ideas sometimes. Stunt people will probably go insane hearing this, but sometimes we just get ideas and like we do things on the fly. And so whether they're writing stunts for us or not, like who knows? Something weird's going to happen.
Listen, you're the new guy here. I am the second-year vet. I figured I would, show you a few things around here.
No, I'm just looking.
So, you've got Miss Cooper over there. I've been here a year and a half. She's been pregnant the whole time. I don't ask questions.
Yeah, I think I pissed a lot of teachers off way back then, and so they've
disassociated.
Not even a love letter like Abbott Elementary could bring them back. But teachers in general, I have. That's not true. I actually am in touch with a couple teachers that I had, but I have heard from a lot of teachers that did not have the privilege of teaching me. And that is really meaningful. I hear a lot that like, they feel like it's actually like that. And, obviously we're going for something slightly heightened in our show. We're trying to make people laugh, but Quinta has always been attached to and in pursuit of this idea that it is genuine and authentic. And when teachers tell us that they feel represented and that they feel like it's actually like that, that is the biggest compliment.
All right, man, I can't do this. I just don't like pizza.
What? Say that again. I don't think I heard you, son.
It just means that you'll see a lot more Mr. Johnson. I hope that Mr. Johnson is funnier than he was last year. I'm just happy and enjoying the moment, enjoying the journey. And I get to come to work with some amazing actors, some amazing, incredible, creative people.
See, this is why I don't ever tell anybody, okay? Because everyone always freaks out and acts like it's a personal attack. It's not my fault. I was born this way.
Don't you bring Lady Gaga into this.
He doesn't like bacon.
Will you learn Mr. Johnson's first name? We'll see. I can't tell you that. That's a secret.
I'll go into a power pose.
And remember, you don't want to show too much improvement because then they think we won't need the money, but then also you don't want to show that we haven't gotten any better because then they think we're not capable of improvement.
Wow, and this is the job you really want?
Well, Ava's going to be Ava. So I think Ava and Gregory's relationship is going to, I think, continue to have this kind of like underlying feeling of how everyone feels about Ava, which is generally frustrated. But at the end of the day, we got to make it work for this school. And I think at the end of last year, he really decided to get on board with helping her regardless of whether or not he thinks she's good at her job or if he should have it.
Memorization is how I learn all the state's capitals. Juneau, Salem, Madison. I can keep going.
In my class, we do silly voice time to, break up the day.
And it makes learning more fun, too.
Well, for me, it's still, as an actor, I've said this before, it's drilled in you, do not look into the camera. Do not look into the camera. So that's still been an issue for me. I'm learning to do it more and to trust that, okay, even though it looks like a camera, that's a person. So deal with it as another character. The talking head part, that's, actually, it's fun. I like it, especially with Mr. Johnson's character, because he can say anything he wants. So, yeah, but yeah, the mockumentary style, I think, if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
Yeah, I think it's a very unique style. I really actually like it because it, I think we can get into something I like to call like actor speak, where it just sounds like lines, and something about the mockumentary format shakes that up. It makes it feel realer to me, and that's where I think I find some of the like more interesting quirks that Gregory has. It's something that I haven't really done like that before, but is definitely now a new favorite genre of mine.
Look, man, I'm from Baltimore. Okay, all I know is when somebody roasts you, you gotta roast them back. Our teachers used to roast us, and if they didn't, we wouldn't have respected them. You're just getting clowned.
Of course I'm being clowned, okay?
100% the show makes me regret everything I did to my teachers. Yes, all of it. Like, we really do not fully understand how hard of a job they have. We have it on a very smaller scale, but just trying to wrangle the kids in the room, it's not just like, oh, they're perfectly seated there. There's a set. No, we have to do it as a set, all of us. And it feels like a school in that way. So trying to just get a show done with that many kids is hard enough. Trying to teach them how to read and like write and become functional members of society feels damn near impossible. So yeah, I was a very talkative child. I'm so sorry. I apologize. All my thoughts and questions did not need to be answered.
I grew up in a totally different time. I mean, with social media and everyone has one of these things, the kids, it's just a whole different thing. I can't imagine what these teachers have to deal with. But yeah, I put teachers through some pace. I'm not supposed to say this because we're in a different time and space now, but teachers used to paddle, and I'll use that word paddle, because it's a kinder word. I think every teacher in elementary school had a little bit of my behind. I had fun though. I had a good time in elementary school.